All right, so this is my first time doing this, guys, and I was thinking, like, why not just do like a live Q&A like I've done before in the past? But it's mainly because, from what I have seen, they don't really go very smoothly. There's so many questions or everything, you got to pick and choose and all that. And with this way, like I can see the highest thumbs up comments or whatever, so then address the questions that people really want addressed. But I should do this more often because this is a pretty good response in terms of comments right away from this. So I haven't looked at any of the comments yet. Oh, let me turn that off. Okay. So let's just go through here and I will answer these to the best of my knowledge. 146 comments. Comment number 1, 34, thumbs up. This is a hot one. How do you maintain muscle in other parts of your body doing Bulgarian light? Like, how are your biceps not shrinking if you're never working them? Okay. Now, as you guys know, it's a little different now because I'm not necessarily training the way that I have in the past. Okay. I'm usually lifting in the morning and then I'm training and then I'm doing my own thing at night. But I'm not really any bigger or smaller than I have been when I was doing like strictly the one exercise a day or so. Biceps, never really isolate them. The main thing is that for the most part, when I was with my videos and stuff, like you guys see what I specialize with. A lot of times they're pulls. Okay, so how are your biceps not shrinking? Okay, it's because I'm always doing pulls for the most part. Like a lot of times, there's certain rows, dumbbell rows, T-bar rows. I was doing pull-ups not long ago. Dumbbell rows, T-bar rows, the hammer strength rows, single arm T-bar rows, just a million different row variations. And the thing is, anyways, so like for now, for instance, let's say I wasn't doing additional training. It's not like they would really shrink anyways, because as long as you use them, at least like once a week or whatever, once every 2 weeks even, they're not really going to atrophy on you. Okay? Like that's how it was in the past for me. Like chest and shoulders and stuff, even though I was doing so much pulling. It's not like my shoulders and my chests like vanished because I was never really working them. Like my triceps, they weren't to the peak size that they could be, but they weren't that much smaller anyways. And that's because, as some of you guys know, when I focus on one exercise, I specialize. It's not like that's really all I do. Like there'll be certain days where I don't feel good, or certain days where I hit my PR very easily on what I'm specializing with, and I'll have a little extra time. Like for my old job, I had a lot of time when I was doing like strength coaching, personal training, and stuff like that. I had downtime between clients or whatever, and I would just do like some rows or just do a couple pull-ups or anything like that. And that's kind of what I always was doing anyways for a long time when I was doing like the pistol squats, or I was doing like T-bar rows and all that. I would do like even just one set of very high rep dumbbell overhead press. Okay, so I always do something. I don't just completely neglect it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not really doing a lot. It's just something like 1 to 3 sets tops. Okay, so just throw something in there. Second question was 17 thumbs up. How do I not get injured and make progress working out 8 hours a day? Okay, well, here's the deal. It's not like I'm just lifting weights for 8 hours a day. Okay? And it's not like from what you see on my videos where I'm doing like the dips, for instance. It's not like I'm doing dips for 8 hours a day. Basically, how it works, how my training works is I typically strength train at 8:30 in the morning. So around 8:15 or so, and this is just because this is the way things are done for me, that they have to be done. I'll like roll my feet out on a lacrosse ball. I'll do a little bit of foam rolling, not a lot. I'll do some of like my yoga-esque stretching. I'll do that for about 20 minutes, and then I'll do like a dynamic warm-up. Okay, toy soldiers, lunge and twist, Cossack squats, that type of stuff. I'll do that for maybe like 5 minutes. Then I'll do like glute and core activation stuff. Okay, lateral monster walks, side plank, top leg raise, those types of things. I'll do that for about 10 minutes or so. And then it's basically, for me now, it's split up. Upper body day, lower body day. That's how we're doing it. And then that's for, because you're doing all the dynamic warm-up stuff, the activation stuff, that's about 30 minutes. So it's about an hour then of the upper body or the lower body stuff. So that's that. So that's about an hour of actually getting after it. Probably even a little less. And then it's just skill stuff. It's just training. It's not to say that it's easy. It definitely takes a toll on the body. But that's the stuff that takes up the majority of the time. That's about, 3 or 4 hours a day. And then from there, I go home, I relax, I eat, I might take a nap, I drink more coffee, and then I'll do like my one exercise. And with my one exercise, it's just that. It's one exercise. It's probably, no more than 10 sets or something. So let's take dips, for instance. Usually what I do for dips is I'll start with like body weight, 40 pounds, 60 pounds, 80 pounds. So I'll go anywhere from like 20 to 40 pound jumps. So usually I try to take the bigger jumps just to save time. 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. So nowhere, no more than 6 to 10 sets total with, 1 to 2 reps per set. So it's very minimal in that sense. But the main thing is, I guess, really to answer that question, how do you maintain muscle I already answered that one. How not to get injured and make progress working out. Well, how not to get injured is you gotta do your stretches. You gotta do that yoga type stuff. And if you have more time, it's not gonna hurt. Foam roll out with a lacrosse ball, something like that. But the main thing is just to keep moving. Okay. Motion is the lotion for joints and injuries and things of that sort. Just move through them. Obviously, don't lift very heavy if you're feeling tweaked, banged up, injured, but just always keep moving. It's when you get injured and you stop doing stuff and then it just tightens up on you and it gets worse. Let's look at people's replies for this. Steroids, no, false. If anything, I believe steroids would make you more injury prone because then you're stronger. All right, and then you can push your body more, whatever. You can recover, your muscles recover faster, but like your tendons and ligaments don't, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like that would make you more susceptible to injury. Milk. Well, yeah, milk. Calories in general, basically. Eat more, yes. Eat more, sleep more if you can. Drink a lot of water. Play Natty Anthem. It'll push you hard for 8 hours of arm workout. I don't even know what that means. Okay, best forearm exercise. Matt Baker, no. Best forearm exercise. Back in the day, I would say like deadlift variations and stuff. Like get your grip stronger and your forearms will grow. But that's just not true because like my forearms, like my biceps and stuff, are a lot bigger than my forearms are. I really don't work my biceps very often. I work my grip a lot with all the pulling, but like I don't have huge forearms by any means. But I believe that the higher rep stuff, well, I know this for a fact because your forearms are predominantly more slow twitch muscle fibers, right? Because it's like your calves, for instance. So you're going to have to do extreme rep range to get your forearms to grow, just like you would with your calves. You can't do sets of 1 to 3 for your calves and expect to have colossal calves. So the forearms. Now you guys are very lucky here because I discovered this gem about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I haven't used it very often, but it's the coolest thing that you could buy. Honestly, it's I think it was like $150, so it's very steep in terms of price, but man, is it worth it because the thing's indestructible. And if you want high reps and you want the easiest way to work your forearms, I don't know why I don't use this thing more often, but every time I do, I'm amazed with how awesome it is. I mainly use it though to avoid like tendinitis and just any pain like my forearms and elbows. It helps with all of it. So let's just get to it. What is it? It is Sidewinder Pro Extreme. Okay, this is a good plug for this company. They should send me a free one because I'm sure their orders are gonna fill up like crazy. Okay, so you can see here, it would be like if you're just doing wrist rolling. Okay, but you got this spring in here to increase tension or decrease tension, and then you're basically just wrist rolling. Okay, now the awesome thing about it is, all right, you have resistance both ways. Okay. It's not like if you're just rolling a string up, whatever. You're just going one way to get it up. Okay, you have tension for both forearms, basically. And then the nice thing about it is, like I said, super high volume. Okay, like you can have a ton of tension on this thing, and this thing would be enough tension for Superman, for Eddie Hall. I swear to God, because I have it all the way, and I can't even turn it. It can get that tight. I think it's supposed to be like where it's all the way, it's just locked in. So I don't usually go very intense with it. God, that's like way too much tension as well. Okay, I like to get it. So this is a good amount of tension. I'll do this until it burns out, and I'll basically just like very easy to drop set it with, and then you can just change up how you utilize it as well. Okay, whatever you need to do. This is honestly the best forearm tool that I've ever utilized. And I've bought plenty of the Captains of Crush and all that, and I think those things are useless. That is not useless. That is awesome. I think I'll answer one more on this video, and then I'll make another video, just because, as you guys know, my camera dies. It dies. My phone runs out of memory. I don't know why. I just got to update it. Whew. Could you tell us more chimp stories? I don't know. What chimp stories? Let's see. Chimps are amazing specimens. Very strong, right? More muscle mass, for the most part, like humans, like the average adult male, let's say, for instance, is like bigger than a chimp. Chimps are whatever, 4 times strong. I mean, these are all whatever ballpark estimates, but you can look it up, and it's, that's what it's been verified. They're like 4 times stronger than the average adult. Now, granted, the average adult is pretty weak, but it's amazing. But it's, from what I understand, it's because their nervous systems are different than humans. Of course they are, right? So basically, a human, like how our nervous system is set up, like there's more neurons, so that we can do finer things, right? Like we can sip coffee, we can write with a nice feather pen, whereas a chimp can't do that. So they have more of like an all or nothing. Like they're more like brute force. They engage more muscle fibers in everything they do. They can't do it as delicately as we can. But that was my whole point anyways. The story is that like your nervous system plays such a dramatic role with strength that, I hear it so often, or I have heard in the past where people are like, oh, I think I got to put, I think if I can put 10 more pounds on, I can get 5 more pounds on my deadlift. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult. You're telling me that you need to put 10 more pounds of muscle on to get 5 more pounds in your deadlift? It's moronic in my opinion. You could literally just practice that skill and get 5 more pounds like within the next 2 training sessions, because there's always probably going to be something to correct, or it's how you brace, it's how you set up, or, your nervous system's just going to get more efficient with the movement the more you do it anyways. So that's always been what I preach. Approach your lift as a skill, not as just a tool to gaining more muscle, but you have to get more muscle to get better at that tool to gain more muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just chasing your tail, you're running in circles. All right, last question, because we're going on 15 minutes here. What is your occupation? It hasn't been announced yet, so I'm going to keep it pretty broad. Sports entertainment. I'm in sports entertainment. All right, let's continue this video. Next video.